So here's the bracket we're going for. Looks pretty nice. Now just pop this into the computer and we'll be good to go. Sam was understandably confused when we
handed him the dyno bracket.
like, here's the rough template with the bolt holes. Now it could be anything. It could even be that.
No.
This should complete the alternator bracket.
Wow. Would you look at that?
Okay, so now that the alternator situation's handled, right now it's gonna need brakes and it's gonna need a clutch to do anything at all. So we've got this tilt and pedal box that James found on eBay, and then we've got a bunch of Willwood master cylinders, and we're gonna try to put this into the car, and it's not gonna fit, and we're gonna have to do something else.
Stay tuned.
So this looks like it's gonna work fine. We're gonna want to notch the box frame. This has like this giant box frame in here. It's a huge pain in the ass, and it doesn't really leave your like feet with any room, so we don't mind doing it. Okay, so it's another day. The main thing that we're gonna be doing today is the exhaust. These are UJs, basically just pieces of pipe that's intended for fabrication. You have, you know, a couple radiuses and a couple different bends and some straight pieces. Then we could just have an actual straight piece there. We don't think we're gonna need that. The smaller one of these guys is for the wastegate. We were gonna come out of the engine lid, but because the back of this is so damn plain with just these taillights, we're probably going to go straight out the back. Sam says he wants to cut out some kind of trim panel here, and we'll just do a dual exit out the back, kind of like a cigarette boat. Yeah.
How you doing? We're working on the Speedster. Hey, what the fuck? Look at that. Shit's fucking cool. Woo! Woo!
Here she blows, made of course with our handy dandy CNC plasma. It's a license plate holder that doubles as exhaust trim. Okay, something we kind of just skimmed over was the pedals and the steering, so I'm just gonna give you guys a little bit about what went into that. I'll show you real quick. Okay, we'll start with the steering, because the hood's open. This is a complete custom thing because the stock Beetle stuff that we tried to use didn't work. It's a U-joint, and
this is a Super Beetle lower U-joint. This would have been like a shaft with two of these U-joints that have the same spline on them, but we cut it in half, put a support bearing on it, and then
support bearing is just a Heim joint.
Yeah, it's just a Heim joint to hold that in place, keep it from flopping around. And then in there we've got a just generic 5/16 or 5/8 to 3/4 double D shaft U-joint that we welded on. So yeah, we've got one piece of 3/4 inch shaft that's supported here and here. We had to extend it a little bit. Yeah. We had to extend it a little bit here. You can see there's like a sleeve that we welded on because we weren't really happy with how close to the dash the steering ended up. That's not really here or there. Then we've got the pedals under here, which we just installed this bad boy.
The pedal is this like ridiculous bracket that Sam made, and then it's gusseted to the firewall. And it's got 3 master cylinders on the top, 2 for the brakes, 1 for the clutch. Brakes will give you front and rear. That's how pedals do. And then the gas pedal is just a generic CNC pedal.
This is like a dune buggy gas pedal that I went and picked up at Paradise Motorsport up in San Marcos.
It's bolted to a plate that's welded to the floor, so that was super easy.
Yeah, super duper easy. Heel towing in this thing is a cinch now. We just got to plumb these to the actual brake calipers and the clutch slave, and then these are done.
Steering wheel comes off.
Yeah, steering wheel's got a nice little race car quick release that's hex, so it has a shitload of play in there for all of you guys that are keeping track of me swearing. There you go, it's 1. And but it works. It goes on and off. It does the thing a quick release has to do.
Today's actual project is cooling. It's pretty much the last piece of the puzzle. There's other little things. There's actually a list of little things, but cooling is the big one that we haven't addressed yet. To start, we're gonna jack up the car.
That evened it up pretty good.
So these are normally meant to be air cooled, obviously. Most people use like a Volkswagen engine, like a flat four or something like that. But because we have a rotary, we need to run water lines. Luckily, the Beetle used to be rotary powered. It is now going air cooled, so James doesn't need the water lines, which are pre-made and almost the right length.
Should be pretty close.
For that. So we're just gonna take them out, cut them up, and see what we can do to adapt them to the Speedster. Right, so here's one of them. James is taking off the other one. You can see it flopping around down there.
There's a lot more stuff in the way on this side.
Pretty much aluminum coolant lines with big AN fittings on the end. But we have all of the AN fittings we'll need to make this happen. We're probably just gonna have to make new soft lines, but these might work as is, which would be wonderful. Okay, so upon the first test fit, these are way too long because Speedsters are shorter and
they're probably like a foot too long.
so we're gonna cut it in half and
Like this.
let me move the portaband. So this tool right here, this is just a portaband saw, and Swag Off-Road makes a nifty little table.
Stand.
Look at this, it's got foot controls, so you can have your very own metal cutting bandsaw for
like
$150.
I think that's about what we spent on this as a used one.
James is actually welding together somewhat of a water manifold.
Yeah.
We're using an electric water pump. We don't got any room for that stock rotary bullshit, so
Too big.
too big, making our own. One might even call it a turbo, but it's not. It's a water pump. Okay, so we've noticed that we want to straight here. This is for like from the engine to under the car where we're gonna run hard lines. Making AN lines is always the same. These ones are just comically huge, which is why we have this comically huge wrench. Dash 20 AN hardline under the car. Nice and clean, nice and simple.
Couple of hose, like retainer D-clip thingamajigs on this, and it'll be very secure. Even with just one, it seems like it's pretty solid.
Yep. Okay, so water manifold, dash 20 line. Now check this shit out. Radiator has been welded with this nice pipe, and boom, we only need like a small section of soft hose, which Devin's got in his hand, and with that, this side is completed. So up next, we're making the mount for the oil cooler. So far, we've just welded this piece of tubing. This is going to get mounted to the frame horns in the back. To do that, we got our fancy freaking tubing coper because we're done doing it by hand. Holy shit! Yo, that flew off at Mach 10. We were here pretty late last night, but we got the cooling system done. We're just making brackets that are gonna hold the radiator in, but let me show you what we got. Okay, so this thing that looks like a turbo is actually our electric water pump. That goes to our oil cooler. We got some AN lines going to the motor. We've mounted this with some, just some tube. Under here, comes off the oil cooler, goes to the radiator up front, and then we have another line on the other side that's a lot like that. That goes up to our water manifold. So, custom cooling system, done. All right guys, what's up? It's another day, clearly. Today, the engine's pretty much done, but we need the car to actually like do things, like the pedals need to work, it needs to shift. So I'm pulling in right now because I'm grabbing the shifter out of our 911 that we were gonna use in the 911, but we figure it's going to look and just be a better fit for the Speedster, so I'm gonna grab that, show you guys real quick. Some of you guys have been asking about the 911. It isn't going anywhere, it's still here. We are gonna finish it. We just figured when we paint the Speedster, we would paint this. We'll do them both at the same time because we actually just turned my garage into a paint booth anytime we paint something, so this is waiting until that. Here's the shifter we're gonna use. It's for a 915, but we can adapt it to work in a 930. It would look out of place in here because this has a very stock interior, and it'll just look better in the Speedster. So I'm grabbing this, heading back to the shop, and we'll get to installing it. Okay, so a second ago we sat in here and decided that this was the best place to put this. So what's been done is there's now a hole in the floor, and Sam CNC'd a base plate for the bottom of that. Now it just needs to be connected. Okay, so if you look at the shift rod, you can see that it's got slight bends in it. This is, on the left side is the transmission side, on the right side is the shifter side. Our transmission is sitting a little bit too low, so we're just gonna increase the radius of these bends. So we're just gonna increase the radius of these bends with our tubing bender, because this is about 1-inch tube, and we have 1-inch dies.
Just go to fucking town on it. Let's check that and see.
So the verdict's in, and measuring is for absolute freaking nerds, because
Measure nunts.
you can see left to right, they are the same height, which is what we were aiming for. Before, the one on the right, what we were just bending.
Yeah, the shift rod was sitting probably like an inch or so
It was
above.
like up here.
Yeah, it was like basically one whole radius of the tube above that, so it looks like we kicked it down the right amount.
So Devin's bolting it all in. We don't really know how effectively it's gonna shift until everything's nice and tight, so. The shift rod is the right length though, so I don't really see what.
Just point it at me, man.
I could just like do this
Hold it,
actually.
you're a boom mic up here now.
Yeah, we got this really shitty mic. If you,
Yeah, the nice mic we used to have broke just like spontaneously, so sorry everybody. We'll also get a new camera eventually, we know.
Yeah, we know about the dead pixel, but you know, anyways.
It is what it is. These
So,
cameras are expensive.
Okay, so show the people how it do. Oh, let me mic you up, bro. It's a piece of shit, right?
It's a huge piece of shit. It can only get into one gear. There's way too much flex and everything. It's Garbo.
CAE.
We have another shifter, which isn't as pretty, but it'll do the job. All right, Devin, engage our hilariously long shifter. It's got truck throws, but god damn it, it works. So we got to move on to the next thing that's gonna make it drive.
Time for the next.
You guys don't have to sit through all the tuning nonsense that we had to. It starts and it runs. We still have more tuning to do because it dies randomly. But listen to this. Okay, so today is actually the day we're gonna try to drive it, and I've said that, I don't know if I've actually said that on camera, but I've said that like the past week in a row. Today's the day. Well, we got it running. There was a lot of jumping all over the place with tuning, so probably, I haven't edited yet, but what I'm gonna do is just, you probably already saw all the tuning footage, and now I'm gonna slap in some driving footage, and hopefully it doesn't blow up on the first outing. It very well might, but we're pretty confident. One rotor, take one. It's fucking moving!
Holy shit! It's moving under its own power.
It moves.
The clutch works.
Hold on. Oh, you're good. It looks like it looks like a fucking hot dog bun, dude.
So little.
Yeah, I think we just need a smaller wheel. Dude, this thing sounds mean as fuck.
It sounds mean as fuck over here. Watch the tail, it's definitely gonna hit the ground. Go as sideways as possible. That's so loud.
Oh, I killed it. That was gnarly.
Okay, we're gonna push it because James pulled over to say something to us and it died.
Yeah, alternator is not charging.
Alternator's not charging, so we're at like 9 volts, but it drove.
Yeah, it did drive.
It sounded pretty good. We gotta figure out,
It sounded good. It was really fun.
it's leaking and it's too low and the alignment's sketchy.
You want to just hop in, man? This car doesn't weigh that much.
Yeah, James, hop in.
Just hop in.
James Dean.
James.
We got it back here. It just needed a battery jump because it doesn't seem like the alternator's charging. Because there wasn't that much footage, we have a lot of work to do. As far as driving it goes, we're gonna end this one with a little bit of revving because it sounds so good. Yo, I've never heard a car that loud. I really hope that comes through.
I think I have permanent hearing damage.
Yeah.
Why do you think I was sitting in the car doing this?
Yeah, no, that definitely gives you permanent hearing damage.
I'm not the best index for loud cars because, you know, to be honest, there's some crazy shit out there, but this is probably up there.
Yeah, probably like, I don't know, out of all the rotary cars I've been around, this is probably top 5 loudest. It's really loud. It's like, that hurts. It's physically painful.
Yeah, no, my eardrums probably ruptured. They might be bleeding. Yeah, Devin, you want to just do an outro? If you guys aren't familiar with the channel, we give away products from boostedshades.com every single video. All you got to do to win is like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Devin's gonna pick a winner real quick, and then we'll get to that. Devin said that he was gonna pick 2 winners this video because we didn't do one last one, so he's got to pick 2 winners.
Okay, the winner from the first video is Frank Envious 831. And the winner from the second video is Dubslag.
All right, hit us up at Teamboosted at boostedshades.com or through any of our social media pages. We'll get back to you and ship you something. I explained how to win. Like, subscribe, comment. The comment could be anything, but we ask you guys things at the end of every video to make it easier to think of something if you can't think of anything on your own. Dude, it's
Everyone's real sweaty.
it's hot.
Car, man.
This thing's heavy.
You just got straight up got floss sweat.
This video's question is, what would you like to see next? Obviously, we have to get it driving better. There's things that we need to do, but what are you guys looking forward to? At this point, well, we're gonna do some more of our own tuning, but it's gonna go to a dyno to get tuned professionally, and we're gonna wanna see them power numbers. But what are you looking forward to seeing with the one rotor? Leave that in the comments. You're eligible to win stuff from boostedshades.com.
As always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.